Welcome to the show, Chris, and thank you for coming on today. If you could start and tell us a little bit about the feed, what it is, and what its mission is across Norfolk.
The feed is a social enterprise, which means we trade, but then we invest the money back into our community. So our trade is food, making delicious food. That's the way we generate most of our revenue. We do that through selling the food in our cafes. Our biggest one is at Waterloo Park in Norwich. But we also provide event catering, so businesses, other events, other organisations that want delicious food. We make it fresh, and then we deliver it as well in and around the Norwich area. So those cafes, that catering business is generating money. And then the difference for us in terms of what we do with that is we invest it back into projects in our community. So the best example of that is our social supermarket. That's based on Hall Road in Norwich. It's been up and running for a couple of years now. And it's a need that we identified first during COVID, that there were a lot of people in Norwich struggling to afford enough food, healthy food, nutritious food. So we started doing some activity in COVID and recognised that need was significant, and probably because of COVID and other things happening in the economy, there was going to be more people that would have that situation of not being able to afford enough food for their families. So we recognised that need, and we saw that we needed to have a new venue dedicated to providing that kind of food support. So we worked in parallel with City Council, with other organisations, and it was deliberate that we chose the premises on Hall Road in Norwich. It's a part of Norwich where that need was absolutely identified. And we've been there for a couple of years now. So the social supermarket itself is providing affordable groceries. Some of the items are free, and that's a conscious choice by us to make the essential healthy items free, because we don't want people not able to afford them. So fruit, vegetables, bread, and some other essential items like sanitary and hygiene products, they're all free. And everything else is priced up at lower cost than you'll probably find it in any other venues. The method then when people go to that social supermarket is much like any other store where you might shop for all your basics. Once you're a member, you come in, you shop when you want to. It's open 5 days a week at the moment, Monday to Friday. You pop in when you need those basic items. You grab a basket on your way in. You stroll around, you browse, you choose what you need for you and your family, and you settle up at the till. So we deliberately created that model where it's a familiar shopping experience. People have got the dignity of choosing exactly what they need and when they need it. I mentioned there that they're members because it's kind of a different feeling that we want to have. We want people to feel they're belonging. They're part of the feed, they're part of belonging to a community venue. It's free to be a member, and the criteria are really, really simple. It's about telling us and explaining to us the situation you've got, that money is tight for you and your family, and you live in Norwich. If you tick those two boxes, you can join and you're a member of our social supermarket. The other half of the venue, it connects, is our community cafe. So this is kind of different to our other cafes. This cafe at Hall Road is very much a venue where you can pop in, you can sit, you can chat. There's no obligation to buy. There is low-cost food and drinks there. You can get a cup of tea, you can get a jacket potato at lunchtime. Simple food offer, but it's a lot more than that. It's a place where you can sit and chat with someone that you know. It might be somewhere that you come and sit and chat to people that you don't know. No obligation to buy. And we've got a small support team based there as well that are looking out for members. They're available to chat, and they will do a signposting job for people who need help. So we know by definition that members are struggling with money, not got enough to afford the basics, and we can probably provide support in other ways as well. And our support team are there, available to have those kind of conversations.
So Chris, what role does your catering team play in the success of the feed today?
The Feeds catering team has been a real success story for us over the last few years. Since COVID times, when obviously things shut down. But beyond that, as the business community in particular has got back into the office environment, lots of events taking place, and they're all the ways that people might need our delicious food that we make in our catering team. So over that last 3 years, the team has grown from 2 or 3 people. We're now up to 6 people, plus our delivery driver as well. And this is a way that ultimately it's about generating more business. So that growth in staff reflects we've been growing our business. We've been getting nice reviews from our customers. And the business community, whether it's small businesses in Norwich, whether it's people holding big events, all of those are ways when people might need food to accompany the event and to serve to their guests. And they're the kind of things that we are supplying on a regular basis. The growth also means that we've switched venues. So for a long while, the catering team were based at Prince of Wales Road. It's a venue we've left now, but for a while it was both a cafe, home to the catering team's kitchens, and we've outgrown there. Over the last year or so, it was purely a venue for the catering team, but even then we outgrew it. So we've moved to where we are just now, up at the showground, the Norfolk Showground. We've got a much larger kitchen here, which means we've got a slightly bigger team and room to grow. And typically for the team here, they're working Monday to Friday. They're on duty by 7 AM because the really busy time of day is providing lunches. So the team are in early, making everything fresh, prepping it all up. And then from mid-morning onwards, our delivery van is going out, whizzing in and around the city and dropping off that food. And the scale of what we provide varies greatly. Anything from kind of half a dozen people or so having an office lunch, all the way up to, I know one of the biggest things we did last year was a conference in Norwich with 200 people wanting a full buffet lunch. So we can scale up to really big events as well as those more smaller office type meetings.
Could you give us a bit of an insight into the type of foods available from the feed?
So the feed's choice of food on our catering menu is really wide. It will cover breakfasts, which can be bacon rolls, it can be pastries, granolas, juices. As we work through the day, lunchtime, there's a really big choice there. Great sandwiches and wraps, platters. We've started doing grazing platters where you can get a lovely choice of hams and cheeses and just nice nibbly bits, a really relaxed style of meal if you want that for your event. And then towards the back end of the day, it might be more of a kind of drinks event, and canapes that we offer might be really suitable for that. We can also cover all the different dietary needs that people need, so vegetarian, vegan options, gluten-free. We're making all the food fresh, so we know exactly what's going into your particular food order. To place that order, the best place by far is to go to our website, so thefeed.org.uk, click on the main tab that says catering, and then you will see the big choice of food that I've described, how to order it. The order forms can be downloaded. And in terms of planning ahead, we suggest you do get in touch really early. So the first thing for an event or a function that you want our food for will be you'll know the date. So even at that stage, it would be good to get in touch with the team. Say you're planning maybe a lunchtime event for 20 to 25 people. Let us know, double check that we've got capacity to do the event. And then as it gets closer to the event, you can firm up the exact numbers of people, the food order. But check in with us because we do get booked up despite having grown the team. So that's the best way to transact on the catering side. You'll see an email address, you'll see a phone number if you want to chat through with the team as well, just to get a little bit of advice maybe on how much to order. And then there's other ways that you can support the feed, but even ordering our catering, ultimately that money is making a bit of profit, which we're investing back into our community projects like our social supermarket. If you use our cafe in Waterloo Park, you'll enjoy a lovely park, you'll enjoy maybe a lovely breakfast or lunch. That money again will generate some profit which we can invest back into the community here in Norwich. And there's other ways too, more broadly. So you might want to do some fundraising activities. Keep a lookout on the feed social media for the events that we're running. You might want to do your own fundraising as well. So that will all again ultimately help someone else in Norwich to eat well, live well and feel connected in their community, the ultimate mission of the feed.
Finally, what advice would you give your 5-year-old self?
My advice to my 5-year-old self, that's a long time ago by the way, would be to try lots of things, meet lots of people, try different things, go to things that maybe you don't instinctively think you might enjoy or like, but reach out, travel, go to different places, meet different people, and go as broad as you can, particularly as you're learning, as you're finding your first job. There's so much out there, and I think, get and try as much as you can, and then you'll gradually find ways to home in on the things that really give you a buzz.
Chris, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show today.